everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Blue House Bull Session. Coming at you on this beautiful Tuesday, which is Wednesday, I guess, right? It's Wednesday. I don't know. Joined once again by my dearest friend, Uber Fuzzy. Welcome. Happy day to you, whichever one it is. I say it's Tuesday. I'm wrong, but I say it's
It is a
Tuesday.
day.
Let's talk about Twitch.
Oh, yeah.
I heard prices went up.
No. Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Prices are going up.
Yes.
Prices are...
In a month? I think it said July.
I am 100% on board with, I want them to make money too. I really genuinely do. I'd like us to make some money as well, but I don't know.
July 11th.
I don't know that raising subscription prices is going to have the impact that they think it is.
I think it might. I think it's also for better and for worse on literally both sides of the equation. The cost of everything in the world went up.
That is
have not adjusted.
True.
Like their costs have gone up. Like, just cost of operations, which you can't begrudge them. Being a business where they're fronting thousands of dollars, but not really, millions of dollars of bandwidth, but not really because peering and it's weird. Bandwidth is expensive, but also bandwidth is not.
Yeah,
because it's a zero sum game at the tiers, but at the same time, they also want to pass on some of that additional money to the streamers, but they also want to get more of a cut from the subs because if you it's a weird equation. If you have somebody who's at affiliate plus, although that's a term now, if you have somebody that has enough viewers that they have subs and stuff, which means they are streaming regularly, most likely, which means they are using your service, which means it costs some, you want to get more money off of them. People, the rise of turbo and ad blockers and stuff, they're getting less money from ads, but also ads are also just we're going through another adpocalypse again. But so let's get the money directly off the subs, but let's also give more money to the people who are doing that are generating. It's a weird chicken and egg Ouroboros loop of the people generate the money that generates them money, so you want to give them more money back, so you want them to spiral upwards.
Yeah. And I do understand it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are nervous because they're worried that there's going to be a big sub drop over this, and I don't know how big that would be if it does happen. Like how much deliberate stoppage of subscriptions is a $1 specifically on tier 1 going to end up being?
Okay, so here's the weird thing. Let me bring up. Did they?
Because, for one thing, if I understood correctly, it's only tier 1 subs that are being impacted.
Yes, but if you remember a few months ago, they did raise the price of the 2s or the 3s in some countries because they had not recalculated that cost with local currencies in a really long time. And that's partially what they're doing with the tier 1s is they're just kind of oh, these have been out of sync of normal inflation value.
Yeah. Right.
So the interesting thing is, in the US, nobody's going to notice because they're just going to raise the rate and they're going to auto do it that. In any of the EU countries and a whole lot of other countries also, changing the price on a subscription breaks the auto renewal. They cannot auto renew at a newer price.
Yeah.
So they have to stop your sub. And that's what people are worried about of the mass sub drop off is people just have, your auto sub to somebody, it auto renews every month. You're maybe you forget about it. Maybe you're like, yeah, I could go in and click it, but I like supporting them even if I don't have a chance to watch them.
Yeah, yeah. Me
You,
with Jackson.
you, yeah. Well, even people you that do stream, that they stream, but like you don't regularly watch them because they're just like difference in times, but you just want to keep throwing money at them.
Yeah, I want to support what they do so they are there when I want to go back and watch.
Right. So you don't really think about that. It just it comes out of
Yeah.
whatever it goes on to some credit card that you just bulk pay. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
my internet costs for the month are this much. You don't even think about it. There will be some drop off because people are, the whole True Bill, Rocket Money, like, oh, subscriptions you may have forgot about, and everybody's like, who has that? Like, who is that targeting? Like, who has multiple subscriptions to things that they don't know about, that they can't just look through their bank statements?
Yeah.
I want to be that level.
No kidding. No kidding.
So there will be a drop off for people that have in countries where they legally cannot auto renew at higher prices.
Right.
But most of those people will come back. What I think is going to happen is there's going to be a larger surge of the buying of the 3 and 6 month packages to get that discount,
Yeah.
because now that extra, was it 10%, 5%, what is it? I it's like 15% on a 6 month, and like it's whatever small discount that is. That will be a lot more appealing now, because
Yeah.
especially if like, look, I have been subscribed month to month on you for $5 for a long time. I know you're going to be sticking around because most of our friends. I'm a bad case for this. I am not trying to become main job Twitch streamer.
Yeah.
It's nice, like you.
I
It
enjoy
is
it,
not
but it's
trying
not
to be.
my job. Yeah.
If you make money off of it, you do. It is not your bread and butter. You are not trying to get. You're not trying to be jiggy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. For the people like me, you may not buy into a 3 month package. If you know somebody, it streams every day. The Rob Kovacs, all the musicians, the Jiggies, that like they are like that is what they do every day, and you always subscribe to them. You're gonna go and get a 3 month or a 6 month, because like I'm gonna give you that much,
Let me
and it's
just
like
get it out of the way now. Yeah.
whether I give you $5 a month over 6 months, or I just give you $30 now,
Yeah.
and then have no payment for a while. It amortizes out to the same effective cost. But some people are like, oh, I don't have that $30 now. Well, maybe you don't need to, but also reducing, it is cheaper.
Yeah, that does sound like it's not as worrisome as a lot of people think it is to me. But it
Yeah.
does mean that in the immediate future, there's going to be a little bit of moving and shaking going on.
The next patch notes, which is what they call their little live stream town hall
Yeah.
thing on June 12th, is gonna be very interesting to see them try to talk about it,
Yeah.
to see what weasel words they come up with. But at the same time, Dan Clancy's got to justify it, and I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of the same. What I just said, like, look, our costs have gone up, but also for the lots of people, all of our content creators, we want to give them some more money.
Right. And I don't think he'll have a problem justifying it. Like, his justifications are going to be sound. It is something they kind of have to do. I get that.
Oh yeah.
And he's never struck me as a villain. He's one of the few, I don't want to say figureheads, but like embodiments of an organization like that. He is the leadership face for Twitch, and he's been doing well with it. A lot of
The thing
he
is,
doesn't catch the ire is the thing. People don't get mad
he
at Dan
does
Clancy.
well. The thing is he a lot of times any of the C levels, they're so. I'm gonna call it, like I said, look at Nintendo,
Yeah,
look at Sony. These executives at the top level, they don't even they don't they most likely do not use their own products.
yeah,
You know, they are not lovers of their product. They do not dog food. They are very good at being businessmen, and they're good at being, they are good at doing the business, which is why they're good at being businessmen, which is why they're at the top. They are not good at working in the store.
but they end up being the faces of the company in those situations, and that's why they catch such a beating.
But Clancy uses the platform.
Yeah,
He drove across the country last year doing like town halls and all the places, and was live streaming like from his RV just all over the place. He uses the platform. He streams on his own channel
yeah,
doing music or just screwing around or just talking, and sometimes it's, with the CEO head on, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes like, look, I'm just here, like, I don't know this, like, you're gonna have to go file a ticket. I cannot help you in this context, in this stream, 1,000 people a second, flying by. I'm just here streaming.
yeah,
It's like, but that means he knows the pain points of the platform. He knows the struggles of, they use some of their own technology. They use the stream together for one of the things, and it kept breaking and kept laughing. It's like, why isn't this better?
yeah, yeah.
And then they stopped using it, and they just, like, zoomed in and shared, and whatever Rebucks are. It's like, okay, but they know about it.
They put a bunch of new updates into Stream together, by the way. That's something I want to talk about a little bit later, too.
That I did see that on the release notes.
Yes, apparently, they fixed the thing where you can share a screen and I can send it out now. We should be able to have guests share screen, and that is something that I know I put in a ticket, feature request, feedback form, whatever. I put in all the things about that because we tried to do that once and we couldn't get it to work. And now it's supposed to.
Was that actually broken?
Yeah.
So if I go like this and I pick this window,
And you pick share screen, and I turn on show on stream. Can I show this on stream? That's me asking permission before I hit the button.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's a thing. I've been streaming for 7 hours.
Well, yeah, I know, but just in case, it should.
I got another pop up. I got a pop up there that says you're live. The stream is now live. Say hi to the viewers. That was not there, but I think it's because it like did something. So that's neat.
But if I switch to screen share output now, it is showing that screen over there. You can actually share screen. Well, ain't that just peachy keen? Now,
That
if I
reminds me, I
switch
don't
back
actually
to
have the-
tile, oh, that'll end screen share. That's why. Okay. All right, I'll go ahead and stop that for now, and we'll switch back to our tiled layout that I like so much. So, hey, I've been watching you work on that a little bit, that window. Do you want to talk about your project you're working on? A lot of people should be watching you as well. Let me make sure I give you your appropriate shout out, but
Lord.
it has become an important part of your stream and one that I enjoy very, very greatly.
So I was frustrated with the features of a lot of the text to speech options. I was using a free website that did it. That was all web based. Just kind of, you open it and tell it your channel name, and it would connect and do things. Which I understand how all that works now, very in detail, and how it was doing that in the background in a web page. But there was a lot of, like, it would read URLs out because nobody ever puts a checkbox like, hey, don't read URLs, you know, and I'd have to like I have a list of, bots or things that I want to have it not read, or I don't want it to read when I paste in something. And some of them would remember it, some of them not. So I'm like, hey, how does text to speech actually work? Can I do it in the browser? Like, oh yeah, there's ways to just do it. They're not good, but it'll work. So I built a little text to speech bot server thing that I can, from different things, shove text at it and it will read it.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. I also then built a dumb little bot that connects to the Twitch chat thing that listens for chat messages and sends them from that program to the server running my computer. And the reason they're two different programs is there's multiple things I want that are going to feed into that text to speech, but also I can code them differently and have them running and have it not, if one crashes and not the other, et cetera, et cetera. Because there's other things that chatbot is going to be doing that aren't just text to speech that may crash it.
Yeah.
But I don't want the So
It's
yeah.
neat. I want to steal it. I need it for my streams.
Well, funnily enough, I probably will end up not open sourcing whatever the right word for I'm gonna make the repo public, but I'm not like, this is an open source project with support and blah 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 blah. It's like, look,
It's
I'm just
a
putting the code
welp,
out there
here
because
you go kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah, no warranty. I'm writing it for myself. If you want to go and take it, that's on you.
So
But I'm
what
not
I'm
making
hearing,
a distributable product.
so what I'm hearing is I could hijack that and offer it as a paid service as long as I'm willing to do the support on it. I'm putting it out there.
There's plans I have for other chat based, or not even just chat. Some of them are integrations and other things that I'm slowly building a conglomerate of scripts that run
Yeah.
that connect to things that, for instance, I have that little "oh you are first" little star thing. When it is bought, it actually does fire a message to the TTS services "twinkle twinkle little star," because it can send messages without a user. It can just say, "Hey, say this."
Ooh. Yeah,
And
we.
there's other events, like the Ustream. You see the little like, "Hey, ads are coming," the little thing in chat, like the 1 minute warning.
Yeah.
That's a pub sub event. The chatbot can listen to that and automatically send to the TTS, "Hey, ads incoming." So I don't have to like remember to look at that and say that, but it can announce out loud for everybody that's not, so I don't have to say it. I don't have to have the thing on stream. It can announce that ads are coming, 30 seconds out or whatever.
I
But it
don't
can
want to be
just send
Mr.
the
like
text to
late
speech.
stage capitalism, but like you're really writing the bulk of a streamer tool suite, and I think we could turn that into something. If you are interested in
All
turning that
of
into something.
the thing is all this already exists in existing tools.
Yes.
StreamerBot and Stream Elements and all of this. I'm literally gluing together bits of API code for the hell of it to say that I did. I know all of this exists. A lot of people have mentioned like, StreamerBot literally does all of this. I'm like, yes, but I can't configure it the way I want it to.
Right.
I can use the interface that their dev made and choose to do. And if I want something it doesn't do, I am at their mercy.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a bunch of JavaScript. I can just, once I get the base framework done, I can build out whatever I want it to do.
Well, the other side of that is even things that already exist. I mean, search engines existed There was Alta Vista, and there was Ask Jeeves, and there was Yahoo, far before there was Google. You know, just
Yeah.
because there is a something doesn't mean there's not room for two somethings.
What I worry about is I am building it from me, but I have a lot more technical expertise and I have weird things running on my computer. I can I can hit npm start and have it run a node script, and that web interface is going to be running on Apache on my machine. To do this for anybody else, you'd have to bundle this up somehow and serve all this and have these things installed. Like there's a lot of dependencies and stuff, and these are running bare metal on my machine because I am a crazy dev.
Okay, so what I'm hearing there is if I want to sell your product without your knowledge, I'm going to have to do some work to it. I can do that. I can do that.
Yeah.
Besides, we have another big streamer project that we're working on anyway. We should probably do that at some point.
That's
Connected.
I was working. It actually some of it is because
Yeah.
some of it once I get the TTS part is like an effect, but like I'm gonna once I have that all stable, I'm gonna go back and redo the chat part because it's just using TMI right now. But I want to do it with event sub and to get all the other fun,
Yeah.
messages and stuff. But that does feed back into other secret project and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I was
Especially
I
the
was
star.
yeah,
That's
that
like
was
a
actually where
piece I was waiting on.
that's like, how can I do this? And the next thing I want to do with that is I want to have that managed by code because I want to have that price. I want to figure out how to do um, manipulating channel point custom channel point redeems
Yeah.
in code, both creating them, tearing them, adding them, tearing them down, editing them, blah 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 blah. I want to edit the price on that. Every time somebody buys that first, I want to have it double the price. Not for my stream, just to see if I can.
Yeah. Can we make
Why
it
not?
so that it gets prohibitively expensive? I love it.
And then if it sits an entire stream and nobody buys it, and can I have the bot detect when my stream ends? Can I subscribe to the stream over event? And if the bot detects, oh, stream is now over, stop stop the WebSocket listening, but also if it's unbought, reduce the price back down.
Yeah. Yeah. I like
You
that.
know,
Oh, I like that.
but I want to have it create it and then destroy it because that feeds back into other projects like the cafe one. I I want to add a way that Let's Cafe can, if you choose to, create a channel point reward on your stream for you. So we'll have the ID, blah blah, and all that stuff,
Yeah.
and add it, but also remove it. That you could spend whatever your channel points are to get cafe bucks.
Yeah, I like that idea.
No good reason why. I want to learn how to do that. That's why.
Yeah, I'm definitely in for that. Speaking of Let's Cafe, I have something to tell you after stream, but that's entirely unrelated. Um, but there's a lot of potential for interactivity there, and we're really just like tip of the iceberg with the chat stuff right now. And because we have
Yeah.
access to the web stuff as well, since we have like a dedicated server for all this stuff,
Yeah.
we have a lot of options now that I had not even considered at the beginning that could really make for some neat stuff.
Yeah, and now that we have even just within the scope of Let's Cafe, now that we have an actual dedicated backend and a separate domain doing webhook based stuff is actually viable, which does open up a number of things that are very annoying to leave long running and polling in a WebSocket sense because then you have to leave a program running and server is expensive.
Yeah.
But if you set it up with a WebSocket or a webhook, when that thing happens, it can post to the server and trigger a thing But if nothing, like, hey, if you have it fire a webhook when streamer starts, it does not have to, that's a one-time webhook that can start that process.
Ring,
Yeah.
ring, 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 ring.
um, so combining that with an idea that you gave the other week, how long until
God.
Hergel releases stream fishing? How are we going to make a Twitch interactive fishing game, and that's the one that needs crowd control, and that's the one that needs a Twitch extension? But we need to write stream fishing now.
I want to go back. I want to talk to Jackson
Yeah.
and see what, if any, of the code he still has from his Discord fishing thing,
Yeah.
and how much that he's mutated that into being other things and maybe replace that. But if he still has some of that, I want to start with that.
Yeah.
Pirate Software was playing Cult of the Lamb yesterday/today,
I read.
and it's got some Twitch integrations. It's got drops on it for your game. You can also, if you enable the extension, you can join the person's cult and also just chat collectively. Builds up a meter that does a thing in the game. I don't know, I was in and out, but like, that's a good example of hitting all of the different ways you can connect to Twitch. I would not mind writing, sort of as a proof of concept, some sort of fishing game that was, Let's Cafe has to stand on its own and be playable without Twitch.
Right.
The chat interaction is neat and it's fun and it's something to do, but primarily we do want to make sure it is a viable standalone product you could just play offline because you want to. You don't have to be online. You don't have to be on,
you don't have to be streaming to have fun playing the game.
Yeah. Also, at some point, we should probably look at online, but not on Twitch, like a private room code or something, in case you want to stream it to your Discord friends.
Ooh.
But not to Twitch. But not publish to the website where everybody can just see everybody who's live.
Right.
But, yeah. But that's a whole, like, feature creep thing we gotta worry about. But yeah, there's a bunch of different connectivity, both on the front side and the back end, that I want to explore with a fishing game.
Yeah.
It's one of those, this game exists because we wanted to play with some new technologies and just kind of kept going.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that is in our stable were like that, like the idle, Alchematic grew out of being an idle game, and then into a potion crafter, and that crafting turned into,
a
kind of the
game,
crafting of, and it's like, oh, these things all could be different things. Like, at some point, we're going to write a tower defense.
Yeah. We have a list of, like, we want to do a thing, and it will probably turn into a whole project, but it starts as this thing we want to make.
I was streaming working on that that crazy Chutes and Ladders the other day, and somebody asked, like, why is this, like, why are you doing this? And I'm like, because I'm playing around with a bunch of different technologies that I'm gonna use later.
Yeah.
Programming is an art. It is a craft. How do you get better at doing art? You do it again.
You practice.
You don't paint one picture and, like, well, I painted the perfect picture, I'm never going to paint again. You look at it like, oh, I could do those happy little trees a little bit better. Well, you know what? After 1,000 paintings, Bob Ross got really good at doing trees
Yep. Yep.
because he had done it enough. He knows, you know, go, don't go at a diagonal angle. Scoop it. Trees they look better when they're scooped, opposed to just a diagonal.
Yeah.
How did he learn that? By doing it 1,000 times.
Yeah, and it builds on itself, and that ties back to like something I said before about you don't have to be the first, you don't even have to be the best. If you want to make something, make it. By God, make it, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do something, do it. If you do it poorly, okay, do it again. If you're still enjoying it, keep doing it. You will get better. And if you try it and you absolutely can't stand it, well, you don't have to do it.
10,000 hours.
Yeah. 7 years. A lifetime. Did you ever see the Saturday morning breakfast cereal cartoon about the lifetimes? 10,000 hours is your spare time for 7 years. You have, in 70 years, 10 lifetimes to master things. What are you doing with this one? I'll have to find it. I'll throw a link in the Discord, which, by the way, if you enjoy hanging out with us, we hang around in this Discord a lot. Feel free to join there. Yeah, Zach Wienersmith, as much as he makes ridiculous stuff, all too often he makes something that really kind of hits home, and you're like, this is a life lesson. I came here expecting to laugh, and now I am thinking, what the heck? But, yeah, stream fishing, it's a thing that has to exist now.
I can't believe you people come here voluntarily.
And that one I'd be totally fine, like Words with Friends. It's like this only exists in the ephemera of a streaming platform. This is not a standalone game. You're not playing this by yourself.
Okay, that's the other thing we need to write. Is a chat driven.
Thank you for the subscription.
A chat driven thing that you are not involved in. Words on stream or stream marbles or whatever that you put up as an AFK screen or whatever, or you go to sleep, or you're just streaming, while you're studying or something, something for the chat to interact with that is not. If Let's Cafe was just the chat part, people ordered it and their orders came in, and it just watch mode of can do, it just made the order and they went away. But you are not playing a story, you're not playing a save, it is just a interactive screensaver from chat. We need to write some of those because I think there's value in having access to those. I don't know if people would buy individual ones, but that's something we may look at having, like, oh, if you are in the $5 patron, the Hergel Patreon or whatever, you get your access code to log into the Hergel stream tools, and some of them are interactive screensavers. It is not a game you play, it is a game you have on screen. It is the dumb little falling blocks thing, but chat can like make them all explode or something, or stream avatar type things, or marbles, or games, or just whatever things, but some amount of money because servers and bandwidth and hosting and stuff.
Yeah.
And coffee, but not individual purchases, because it's more you will get value at it, so it is worth paying for.
Right. I feel that. Lots of directions we can go. I know we were talking about making more Jackbox style games too.
Yeah, now that we have we have some better experience with the AWS backend stuff, that's going to be very interesting.
Yes, it certainly is.
And you know what else is interesting? We're going to be publishing a game on Steam. Steam has a feature called Play Together.
Yes.
that you can just send somebody a link and they could be playing as if they were on your own computer. So we could do multiplayer locally over the internet through Steam.
I love
You
it
could buy
because
the
those
game.
words don't go together like that. Locally over the internet. No, those are mutually exclusive, and Steam's like, the hell they are.
Right. I mean, it's basically the same technology as like the PS Now or whatever, like the streaming service. Like the game is being played somewhere else, and you're sending your controls, and they're sending you video frames back. It's just to your friend's computer.
Yeah.
You know, your computer is rendering video and sending it to me, and I'm sending you keyboard inputs, but we are both playing on your computer.
Yeah.
You know,
Which is neat.
that could be a whole line of things we do. You know, it's like, oh, how do two people play this? You know, you just both crowd around the keyboard, and somebody's got controls on one side, and somebody's for like, what if you could do that on a whole separate computer?
Yeah,
at
from
your own
over
house?
there.
Yeah.
Where our BO is not intertwining. You know what
Or
else?
your cat.
I think I said this before, but you know what we need to write? Sinister Sudoku, except it doesn't change automatically. It's crowd control. Crowd control punishment Sudoku. That's on my list. It's going to happen. I've only written 100 Sudoku games at this point. If we want to write a crowd control game, that's going to be the first one we do, because I want to make it something I can play and something I can stream, and something where people will spend money to make me miserable. Because that's the best way to earn with that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, it's.
But yeah, I still have all that code. I still know how all that works. I'm willing to bet the toughest part would be writing the crowd control integration, and I know that that's not as hard as it seems. It's just a little complex.
I don't think it's gonna be. I'd have to take a look at it. I don't. Based on what I know, the hardest part is building it into the game.
Yeah.
But actually, like sending the data and actually getting the events and then doing stuff can't be any more difficult than doing any of the other WebSocket stuff for like, any of the Twitch stuff.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Because it's basically open up a pipeline. They're going to tell you when thing comes in, and you're going to like. Actually, it's mostly one way because it's all from their server to you. You
Right.
don't even have to send anything back.
Well, you have to send back a couple things. You have to send back a success or a failure response to indicate if the user should be refunded their coins or whatever. But
oh yeah, I guess you would have to build like go try to do a thing and not. Yeah.
But it's not horridly painful in any case. Where I'm ultimately heading with this is the soundbite of crowd-controlled Sinister Sudoku is a game jam-sized project. We could do it in a weekend if we got, a case of energy drink to split between us and sat down at computers in opposite rooms again. Like the good old days.
It makes me wonder if we could do like do a game jam on stream together.
Oh, 100%. We absolutely not only could, but should.
My camera output
Share screens.
with. Well, no, like not even. Well, no, because it would be. Like I want both of us to be coding different parts of it actively.
Yeah.
On the same project, we're like pushing in different components and stuff like that.
But I think we can both do share screen. Or, failing that, for stream together, use an OBS virtual camera as the input to stream together.
Yeah.
And have your OBS scene set up as your dev scene. That's. Are we gonna live stream the Kenny Jam? We'll get Grant in on it. He's already
No, I think
kind of bullied me into doing the Kenny Game Jam in July, I think it is.
what if we only keep the cameras, we keep the stream together source thing for our webcams, when we put both of our webcams like on our like we both stream,
Yeah.
but you replace where your webcam is with the stream together source element,
Yeah.
so you can see both of us. And if you want to see my screen, go over to my stream. People could jump back and forth or whatever, but you could, you know, be watching either of them and mute it. It's like any of the people that like play games. It's like, oh, if
Yeah.
I want to see their, I could go there and listen to their audio. Like on either of them, you'll hear both the audio, but you know,
I like that idea. I like that idea quite a bit. And I mean, I just plain want to do a game jam in general. And we absolutely should do one of those. And that would be a good way to do it, is just do it live on stream with stream together. Each of us running our own. Here's all our cameras so you can see when we make the face. And, you know, you are watching the screen of whoever you are watching, but you see all of us yelling at each other, screaming in Discord. Man, oh man. Man, oh man. So many great ideas. So many great ideas.
and then you accidentally have me streaming for 17 hours, making a goddamn recipe editor that's gonna get quickly be defunct here as we make some platform data changes.
No, it's not going to be defunct. It's going to be updated. Because you wrote the code in such a way that I can go in and change things if they need to be changed. Because you are a good programmer. And I am a cowboy. I told Jacob that earlier. I made a ton of small changes to Let's Cafe over the weekend. And our current process is I want to make sure someone else like looks at it or sanity checks it when I make a change before it gets like mashed in with everything else. So I ended up with like a dozen of these, hey, take a look at this requests, pull requests over the weekend. And then I was just griefing everybody else on the team and being like, hey, I made like a dozen changes, but they're all 2 or 3 lines. Can you just go in and look at it and just kind of check off, yeah, this makes sense. I checked it out. It does what you said it did, whatever. But yes, I did, so you know specifically, Mr. Fuzzy.
I saw.
I picked on Matt and Jacob both today, and each of them started at one end of that list, and I merged in 12 change sets today.
I know. I got all the notifications.
And none of them conflicted. I'm proud of myself for that. None of them conflicted. I done good. Separation of concerns.
To be fair, yeah, a lot of them were in different parts of the code, so that's usually pretty good. But Git in one of the big updates, one of the major like actual Git updates, I think last fall. I want to say recently, but you know it's halfway through the year, it may have been last fall. Like
Yeah.
it is not January now; it is June. So
Mm,
recently,
the only reason I know that is because I'm sweaty.
anyway, they changed the merge algorithm and then made the default a newer one that had been an optional thing for a while that is a lot better about merging code,
Yeah.
because basically they changed the tokenizer, because it's like you can't just easily like diff a line anymore, because like, oh, I changed like 2 variables, like, well, the whole line changed. Like, no, you changed, like they tokenize it into smaller pieces by scope if they can detect the language and stuff. And so merging, it's a lot. Git got smarter with merges,
Yeah.
and like that had been an option, but they made it the default. And I know, and then they made it the default on GitHub, and it's like, oh, that's why things got less breaky.
Fair.
Also, the merge conflict resolver on the GitHub interface is like 1,000% better now.
Very, very, very fortunately. Because the one in Visual
By which I
Studio
mean
still has
there is
issues.
one.
I don't know. I just like
There-
WinMerge. my
See if
diff
WinMerge
tool
has a
of
VS
choice.
Code plugin.
I should.
They might have one.
It's one of the things that I don't need to do very often is do like a diff comparison between two groups of things. Although recently I've had to be doing it more often for unrelated reasons. But it's one of those that when you do it, you want exactly the right tool that does things the way you expect it to. Otherwise, you're going to be banging your head on the desk for an hour trying to get things lined up properly. And I don't care if this has a tab instead of two spaces at the beginning. Don't tell me these files are different if that's the only difference in them. And yes, these are different, but I only want to copy this line over. And little things like that. And WinMerge is just the one that I got most used to using. And I love it. It works great. There's no second part to that. I like WinMerge. If you ever have to check the difference between two text files, go get WinMerge to do it. It's the tool for the job. Your mileage may vary. You know, we all have our personal preferences and everything. But VS Code has so many neat extensions. So many neat extensions. Like the pet. Do you have a VS Code pet in your VS Code window?
I think I turned that off. But I went through and I had like select all, disabled all of my extensions to try to fix something.
And then one by one go back and...
Here is a tip. Disable all your extensions. Unless you know something for certain you need it in anything you do with VS Code. Like there's one that like changes quotes or like it's a color picker thing. Yeah, you're going to need those and all stuff. But if you have any language parsers or language syntax things or stuff like that, disable them globally. In any folder you do, save a workspace file. And then you can click on it, then click on a extension, say, enable this for this workspace. Don't, if you've only got a handful of, as mentioned before, I run a web server on my computer because I do web development.
Yeah.
Occasionally, a lot of times, I have to edit Apache config files. They are a very weird syntax.
Yes, they
I
are.
don't need that parser loaded all the goddamn time.
Only
I do
when you're in...
when I
Yeah.
Right, when I go to edit the place where those live, I open a workspace, I double click the workspace file that has that folder and has those extensions loaded. But this way they're inert until I need them.
See,
The
that's
same
a
way like
smart
Chrome,
move.
the same way Chrome extensions, you say like, no, this one only, they can be defined in, because I've also written Chrome extensions, you can say this extension only works on this website. Do not load it when you're not on this website.
Yeah.
I wrote one for my last job that did a thing, and I carefully defined the URLs of the sites that it worked on, so it would not, like if you weren't on one of those, it did not even load. So it wasn't even looking at stuff, but when you're on those sites, all it did was managing the tab and looking at the URL to do a thing, but it didn't like do that with your VS Code, and it will start up so much faster. Especially if, like us, you do things in different languages. You know, all the TypeScript related stuff and all the ESLint stuff. If I'm working on a PHP project, I don't need ESLint loaded.
Yeah.
That's a whole language server bullshit that I don't need. I don't need the live server thing starting up when I'm loading that kind of project.
Although I do want to make a joke, and I swear it's a joke. You say VS Code starting up, but I don't worry about that very often. That's like when I reboot my computer. I don't know that I ever close it.
Oh, I close it all the time.
Like, at any given point, it would be smart money to bet that on my computer I have Photoshop open and VS Code open at any time.
Or Photoshop, I understand, because you work within, things are isolated within a single file.
Yeah.
There's a mess of stuff with VS Code. You open this folder because you need a different context. Like, it is not. I'm editing. You could leave Notepad open and open a file and close a file, but leave Notepad open.
Yeah.
Something like VS Code, I close to make sure all the stuff gets unloaded.
I should. But I'm just saying that at this moment, the smart money is on. Code is open and Photoshop is open. Because right now I
will
have
leave.
Code and Photoshop open.
I have a bad habit of, if I'm working something across the day, I'll keep like going back. I will leave a project open and come back to it 10 times. When I'm playing my MMO, waiting for a dungeon, I will alt tab over and write a few lines of code.
Yeah.
Or run another test and wait for it. Like, in between pulls, when I'm waiting for a cutscene, I will alt tab out in the middle of a 30-second cutscene to write some code, because I am that kind of crazy person and ADHD.
You are by far not the only one, though. Take some comfort in that. You are not the only one. Not even a little bit.
Also, sometimes just queues waiting for things are, 7 goddamn hours.
Yeah.
I waited. I took that screenshot about halfway through when it was about 400 minutes. And then I kept going and it made it about 7 hours and it never popped.
That's ridiculous.
And I am furious about that.
I can't say I blame you.
They added Final Fantasy 14 has this event going on right now, and there's weekly. You're trying to earn this currency to buy like old rewards and mounts and stuff like that, but there's randomly generated. Hey, here's a thing for you to do this week. Those are different for different people. Some of them are like, go do this one dungeon, go do 5 fates in this zone or something. One of them you got is go do this one specific PvP mode that almost nobody plays, because they want to encourage you to go out and do stuff that, go do the path left traveled. I queued up for it and I waited and I waited and I waited. I got up and I went and made dinner. I forgot that I was in the middle of that, and I made dinner and ate it and came back, because I just talk about leaving Photoshop open.
No, I
I'll
get
just
it.
leave my MMO open for days.
You were doing a hurry up and wait thing too. I understand that, and you go back and forth in and out of things in that all the time. But anyway, continue.
Right, but I forgot. I went and took a nap, forgetting I was in that queue, and went and laid down and took a nap for like an hour, just kind of stretch my back and stuff, and was sitting on TikTok on the couch for a while. Came back, oh yeah, I still have game open. I go I'll go queue, oh, I'm still in that other queue. Oh, it's been, wait, how many hours is that? Is 400 minutes? It's oh, this is. I even went to the good data center where people say, oh, that's where all the PvP takes place, to try it there. No. Sat there for 2 hours waiting on that. It's this mode, while really fun, just nobody plays it.
Yeah.
Because PvP in this game is just crap.
Yeah. I also have very strong feelings about whether or not rewards for you should be dependent in any way on the behavior of other players. That's one of my personal nitpicky kind of things.
Well, you can earn those tokens by doing a lot of different stuff. That just happens to be a one-time weekly bonus for a small pile of them.
Yeah.
Do this weekly action and get 10, 15 of them. It's a sizable portion, because running some of the dungeons, you get 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Running the long, horrible one that's got literally the 5-minute cutscenes, you get 7 for doing that, but it takes 45 minutes to run that whole dungeon because of all the cutscenes. So they give you 7. That is unfortunately still mathematically, I think, the best way, other than PvP, if you can ever get PvP to spawn, of getting tokens. So that's the thing, is doing those weekly bonuses gives you a pile of them. In the time I waited for that PvP, I could have ran Praetorium at least 10 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was trying to get it because I just wanted to get that checkbox done on that one week.
It's wild. It's unreal. That's one of the reasons that,
broken.
like, I'm not really drawn, for all the different things we do. I've never been really drawn to make an MMO, and that is yet another symptom of why.
It is hard.
Yeah.
The more I get into, not quite the level of some of the people we know, but the more I get into the data science of it, it is writing a game is hard. Writing the balance to the, hey, it's 7:00. Yeah, writing games is hard. Writing an MMO is even harder because you're not. It's everything. It's economies of scale, but it's also horrible.
Yeah. And the amount of resources that it takes to do something like that, you can't tell up front. That's to me, that's the worst part of it, is you never know how big something's going to be. But I digress. Anyway, you are correct. It is 7:00. I think we're going to take a break for about 5 minutes, go freshen our waters, run an ad, stuff like that. So I will kick on a little bit of music for you guys, and we will be back in about 5. welcome back to the Blue House Bull Session. We are glad to be back with you on this fantastic Wednesday. That is a Tuesday. Every day is a Tuesday. Have I told y'all that's my new bit? I've just decided every day is Tuesday. I'm going to wish you a happy Tuesday, whatever day it happens to fall on. So, happy Tuesday, this glorious Wednesday. Do we want to talk about that notification that you just got, or do we not want to say anything yet?
Oh, that the Steam thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Definitely.
But we no sooner had we turned to go to break and grab drinks and stuff than Fuzzy says to me in the secret green room where we hang out during break, I just got a notification from Steam that Jacob is playing Let's Cafe. I had not had a chance yet to warn him that we were testing what it took to put a build on Steam. And
I had seen that accounts were being created because I got notifications like, "Oh, you have been added to the the Hergel org." And then when you created the Let's Cafe entry, and then and I got notified, "Hey, your entry isn't complete. You should." I got a thing for like, "Hey, you got an entry that's partially complete. You should work on it." And it's like, yeah, we should definitely start doing that.
we definitely are starting to do that. As a matter of fact, I've been beating on
Or
Danny
the
a little bit.
checkboxes.
Danny unfortunately wasn't able to join us this afternoon, evening, whatever the time it is. Danny wasn't available this
Yeah.
Tuesday, due to some cat-related issues. His cat Sneep
Aw.
Snoop is having troubles, and he's just trying to make sure he's got everything sorted out. But he will be joining us one of these days here soon, if not next week, week after.
Good.
But we've been talking on and off all day, and he's got a checklist of things we are absolutely going to need and kind of a priority order of the things we already know we need, but he's also got a ton of ideas that we want to talk through. So I did make sure he's got the updated where I wrote down all the things I feel strongly about, and then we can discuss any other ideas and see if they're things we want to do for this project, if they're things we want to keep in our back pocket for something else, if they're things that I just can't stand and I'm going to go all Iron Fist dictator about, Which I did warn him, I will do that at some point because I have an artistic vision, as terrible as that sounds. So there will be points where I am saying, no, this isn't going in this game. This ain't going to happen. But not to take them personally when that happens. Anyway, point is, you can't see it yet because we're mean and it's private and it's not done baking. But we can play Let's Cafe on Steam. It's been an experience. Oh, it's been an experience. I am so excited. I am once again really trying to get the demo out this weekend, the web demo, so people can actually play it for themselves and see what they think and get a feel for how the game looks. Get a feel for how the game feels and plays. Even if it is a preview version. This isn't even the final demo, much less the final game, but check it out. I want something to be able to share with everybody. So, people can beat on it. People can give their thoughts and feedback. People can put this game on their wish list. I'm just putting it out there,
Oh, we won't be able to submit it for the next Steam sale.
No, but in November they're having a cafe cooking mini something that we will be able to make sure it's in for.
Did you see the most recent? It was like Cozy Games or something. Yeah, that was. There was a bunch of stuff that I almost bought but didn't.
I know that feeling. I'm sitting looking at the stuff in the sale and thinking to myself, man, A, I should have made that, and B, I kind of want that.
What's the next What's the next?
There's a
fest?
calendar on the Steamworks
I know that's what
dashboard.
I'm looking at.
What is coming up next? We'll just
There's
out their next sale.
Well, the next Steam sale's on the 27th.
Yeah.
The summer sale starts on June 27th. There's another Next Fest coming up on Tuesday.
So many games. I wonder if any of the stuff that I have actively wish listed is going to be like stupidly cheap in the summer sale. I should buy a video game someday. If I'm going to write them, I should play them occasionally, and I don't just mean doing the dailies in a little to the left. Although,
I finished my dailies. I broke free of that a couple months ago. I sat down and I hunkered down and I like pushed for it. Like I set alarms twice a day, so in case I missed one, I'd get the other. Like I had 3 times a day. Like, hey, if you're awake, go do your dailies today. Do not forget. I had more alarms and reminders set for that goddamn game than I did pill reminders.
I'm 3 days away from the 100 achievement. I'm 3 days away from the 100 achievement, which means I should have it by the end of next week. Knowing my schedule, yeah. That game's better than it has any right to be. And you know what? I used to yell about the clock puzzle, and now it has finally internalized for me.
Yeah, it was the one that always broke my streak.
Yeah.
And I complained about it, and then somebody pointed out exactly. I went and complained on the forum. It's like, look, I keep losing my streak because I cannot, like, short of like going very slowly around the entire dial and trying to like brute force it, and then I don't even know what I even did to actually trigger it. And somebody like explained what was actually going on.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is the dumbest, easiest thing ever.
Once you
can
know.
find it in like
Once you know, yeah.
5 seconds. You're like, okay, here, okay, got it.
And it just takes that like that moment of click, whether you discover it or you're told it or whatever. It takes that moment of click, and then that puzzle makes sense. And some of them are like that, and some of them are, I don't want to say trial and error, but when you have a pile of papers puzzle, you never know if it's lay them out in a grid or stack them on top of each other sorted by size. That's one of the ones where I'm like, I wonder. But that game's so good. That game is still so good. If you have not played A Little to the Left, I very highly recommend it. That's the style of game in a very broad global sense that I want to make. I want to make something low stress and doofy, and you want to come back to it days after days, you know? And that's kind of what I'm hoping for with Cafe. I just got a notification too. Ego is playing Let's Cafe. That is the greatest thing. Oh, that is the greatest thing. Uh-oh, you have news?
Yes, I know why the thing we were talking about in the pictures, why she went and did that. I will send you a
excuse me.
thing.
I am excited to see this thing. We have a story mode discussion tomorrow night for Let's Cafe, because in addition to just make random things for chat and make things as customers come by, we're working on building out a little more engagement by giving you some like rewards for meeting the needs of certain special customers and stuff like that. And one more thing to get, one more set of boxes to tick off, one more set of numbers to go up. And I'm really pleased with my current concept. But knowing myself, that is why I want to have this meeting and discuss it with everyone. because sometimes things that I think are really good ideas aren't.
Can I make a pitch for a Steam achievement?
Yes.
Two of them. One of them is max one character storyline, see it all the way to the end.
Okay.
And another one is max all the character storyline to the end.
I would like to pitch a third in addition to that.
What?
Make $100,000 without advancing any character storyline.
Oh, that's easy enough.
You just turn away the special characters when they show up. It'll be easy, but it'll take as much time as it takes to make $100,000.
We should also look into having like not so much storyline ones, but like special characters like multipliers or something, like they're in a rush
Yeah.
or like they've got a big order, like some just this one's worth catch the golden snitch, this order's worth extra or something, or
Yeah. I dig that. I dig
just
that.
something for little extra bursts of money.
I like how you say money as if we're not both thinking dopamine. something to tick the did something box in your head, make you feel good, This one makes stars appear. This one sparkles. I want that. Give me the sparkles. But no, I'm really pleased with our progress. I'm really excited to see what we talk about with it tomorrow and all of that stuff. I am super hyped to show it off to everybody. I'm probably going to play it on Steam this evening just to make a point. But I digress.
Can we build?
I mean, yes, but go
Wait,
on.
So the build that's on Steam, is it still packaged the same way Can Do is?
Pretty much. We wrapped it in Electron, and we don't give them the installer. We give them the installed folder.
Okay.
But all the installer does is take that, package it up, wrap an exe to unwrap it around it. Yeah. But
So,
you zip up the installation folder and give that to Steam.
But what about like the Steam presence? The same way like the Discord rich presence thing. Do you have to do anything for that, or is it just like because you launched it in Steam?
I'm
like,
pretty sure it's just because you launched it in Steam, but I think we have access to some of that because there are Electron libraries to interact with the rest of Steam stuff.
Okay, that's what I was wondering, because I know like when you build a game, there is a Steam DLL to do things. I'm like, how does that work with Electron? Because it's like not our executable.
It's green something or other. There is a package in NPM that is is Steam library or Steam library integration for Electron.
Okay,
but that is a thing that exists. Because for the moment, I turned off Rich Presence. So,
if that's the case, we should go back and add that to Can Do.
Yes.
Because I know there's a lot of people that like even games that aren't Steam games, they add them to their Steam library to use as a launcher.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not?
Microsoft Word is now playing Skyrim. You've seen that, right? I'll have to find it and throw it in the chat. Where's the is playing Skyrim? Yes, that's what I'm looking for. Let me just...
Well, especially now that you can mark Steam games as private, so they don't show up that you're playing them. So if you are sitting there sorting shelves all day, you don't show up as live.
Yeah.
I love that. Not for any NSFW stuff, I love it for all the idle games that I play.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're just sitting, like, oh, you're playing yet another idle game. It's like, no, I can hide that.
Yeah.
You don't have to see that I have Cookie Clicker running 23 hours a day because it doesn't matter. I am not
Right.
playing that. That just happens to be running.
It is playing. I am not playing it. It is playing.
I had the there is EVGA software called Precision X for monitoring like your fan
Yes.
speeds and
Yes,
your
there
curves and
is.
stuff.
Because I see you
And you
playing
can
that
get
all the
that-
time on Steam.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Because I went to go reinstall that on this computer when I upgraded to Windows 11. I'm like, wait a minute. I bet there's a non-Steam version of this because
Mhm.
anytime Steam would crash, it closes everything you have launched through Steam, including my goddamn graphics card, not the drivers, but the thing monitoring my fans that keeps my fans, ramped up to not make my card get hot. Every time Steam would crash, it would close that. And that version would crash just all the time because it was trying to run within the context of Steam and got out of memory and blah 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 blah. No, you can get that. You can get Precision X as a standalone executable. Guess what? It never crashes.
Interesting. Interesting. That makes me
But
wonder.
yes, people were like, "Oh, you're playing Precision X." It's like, no, I wasn't.
Yeah, I
All
tend
the
to
people
go through and
all the people playing Wallpaper Engine. It's like, no, that's why people joke about, Honey Pop and stuff like that. No, Wallpaper Engine is the reason they made hide your activity on Steam. It's because nobody needs to know that you are running Wallpaper Engine all the time.
yeah.
It's like, could you add explorer.exe to your Steam launcher and it would just say you are playing Microsoft Windows 24/7? God damn it.
You know,
God damn
I'm
it.
genuinely curious now. I kind of want to try that.
Add game, add non-Steam game.
Are we about to see the greatest notification ever in all of history? Is that what's going to happen here? I'm excited. Oh, if it shows up. Oh, if it shows up, I'm going to be so happy. Stupid Steam tricks. I love it. There's a piece of music software that I play with a fair amount called Midinus, and it's a MIDI building block programming whatever, and that sometimes shows up the same way. But I leave myself on invisible all the time. I don't want anybody to see any of what I'm doing. I'm scared that people are going to yell at me for playing video games, like constantly, nonstop. So I keep my stuff turned on invisible, always.
Oh, is that why you... Are you never on? Yeah, you're one of those people. You're just never...
Yeah,
Last online 4 weeks ago.
yeah. Whereas I actively have it open right now. I just don't want anyone else to know that. I don't want someone to say, why can't you hang out with me? Why can't you join me in a call? Why can't you come to a meeting at work? Oh, because I'm organizing papers. Just F off. It's important to me. I don't know. Leftover issues from having issues in the first place. I
It
see.
doesn't stay.
Aw, dang.
It because of the way that Explorer isn't really Explorer anymore. It's a
Oh, yeah.
launcher for... Now that Explorer's got tabs, it's not really one program. It lies.
Yeah.
But it did say Explorer. You can add it as a non-Steam game.
That is amazing. I love it. I love it.
Enable the... Wait. Can I enable the Steam overlay?
In Explorer?
No.
Oh, dang. Dang.
Oh, because it's not the thing that I'm actually launching.
Dang muffin.
Well, that's what people... It's like the whole Okay, I'll tell you this to ruin the joke, because it's funny.
Go on.
There's a game called Space War. It is the purpose. It's a hidden game. If you know how to add it, you can add it to your library.
Yeah.
And it's how people get around the DRM and stuff. You just rename it to ID, I think it's like 480 or whatever,
Yeah.
and you launch it with that because it's a valid game, but not the you. But they track how games are played. So there's all these thousands and thousands of people playing Space War, which is just a tech demo. That you know they're using it to pirate stuff.
Yeah.
I add it to my library, and I launch it once in a while, and just leave it running.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah. Just
I'm
throw
not
off
actually
the
doing
numbers a
anything.
little bit.
I am just launching it to pad the numbers to make people think I am doing something, just because it's funny.
Yeah.
I have played it for 32 hours. It does nothing. It's a bunch of like, it is literally, it's a test game for Steam stuff.
Yeah.
It's got a bunch of buttons to like do this API call and do this API call and do these things, and it's super old too. Like it's ID 480.
Yeah. It was early on when they were setting up the platform still. Even at 500 when you're talking Valve, yeah. Oh man. Oh man. We're going to do so much weird stuff with Steam now. Just cuz
Yeah.
we can. Just cuz we can.
I think it's going to be, I think Let's Cafe is a good thing for us to wade into Steam with, because there's a lot of like the distribution and then also the update.
Yeah.
You know, a game like Can Do, we're not really going to update that often. It's basically a self thing. Like we do have an update patch coming out soon to fix some UI stuff and possibly add another song if it's finished. But that's pretty much a solved game. Cafe is going to evolve over time, and the updates and more art assets and stuff like that. So having that distribution where just you don't have to worry about it. We just push the patch out and it launches next time you play the game overnight, or what, just like that is a better thing. But also all the ancillary stuff like achievements and trading cards and stuff like that. That's just like are really great things to help foster playing a game more than once.
To boost
and a game like
interest.
A game like Let's Cafe, you have a reason to play it more than once. You want to do different things, so
100%.
it's got a lot of replayability.
100% it does. I hope. Knock on wood.
You got to start a different save to see if you get a better, draw at the beginning and not get screwed out of not having any bread products for 4 days. Hint, hint, hint. Which we're fixing.
We are. We have discussed a plan for how we want to do that. I have notes on it here somewhere. I don't have the issue written up because I'm a jerk, but I have notes on it here somewhere.
We are aware of the randomness is a little
hinky.
Not tuned.
Yeah.
It needs tuning. It is a little bit too random for starting off. But I will call out Jay on this. A lot of what Let's Cafe was originally a proof of concept because he had this idea and he fleshed out some of the stuff, and then he was writing the design document, and then he wanted to make a quick proof of concept.
And I accidentally,
I accidentally an entire game one weekend, and we're like, God damn it! Now we actually have to start polishing this and getting this going. It's not like we'll work on it eventually. It's you wrote 80% of it accidentally one weekend,
and now we just have to write the other 80%.
Go back and rewrite all of that because
not all of it. Some of it was pretty sound.
Actually, most of it fundamentally. a lot of the nitpicks we only ever had was with the UI stuff because that was placeholder, I'm a developer, not a designer type.
Yes, and now we have an actual artist we're working with. Speaking of which, I want to talk to you about that too, but we'll come back to that. We have an actual artist we're working with on the regular that has an investment in the game itself as well. Like, not just, I want to make art assets and you can pay me this fixed amount. Like, I am invested in this project. I want this game to exist. I have ideas if you're open to them. And, like, I am hyped for that. I am hyped. It is good stuff. It is good stuff. So let's see. Crowd controlled Sudoku, stream fishing, the Jackbox knockoff, the sudden sound of thunder from outside.
Yes.
Apparently it has decided it is going to storm here.
It is summer, Jason.
That doesn't matter. We've had thunder and lightning in the winter recently, more than I ever remember happening in the past. Is that just me? Is it a sign of the end times? Should I expect a rain of frogs soon? I don't know.
Why is the installer 300 meg?
Because Electron and giant files. It
says it's 300 meg and now it's downloading 104 meg.
That part I don't know then.
Because I think it may have like all the things in there and it's like, oh, we only need, you know what it is? The package is probably not, it's 3 times as large because it's got Windows, Mac, and Linux in the depot.
Yeah.
And then it says, oh, you're installing on Windows, I'll only install the chunks of that are Windows.
I could buy that, yeah.
We have to define that better.
Yeah.
I think I saw that in the dashboard.
Are you installing Let's
Pro
Get
tip,
Balanced,
everybody. Go into Steam and turn on the download limiter. You go into your settings, it's under downloads. It's literally like there's a box, set it to 10,000. That's a nice 10 megabits.
Yeah.
Steam is limited by your CPU speed because it does not download and then unpack. It is downloading and unpacking at the same time.
Yeah.
The reason, my computer's lagging because Steam is downloading, it's not the bandwidth part of it. It's the fact that it's also doing all these intensive CPU actions. If you have auto updates, turn on your download limiter. So anytime Steam's downloading in the background, it's not doing that much work. It may take a little longer, but that's great for overnight updates. If you ever like, my Destiny patch is 3 gig, it's going to take 6 hours, right click it, suspend download. It'll download in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
If you need something now, you can choose to do that. But let all your games trickle download in the background at a very slow amount of bandwidth and a very slow amount of CPU resources. You'll never notice it.
Yep. A vital tip. A vital tip.
The Destiny expansion came out Monday, Tuesday, very, very recently, and it was many, many gigabytes.
Big.
And I had that downloader on there. It's like, it's gonna take 6 hours, and I'm like, all right, I don't have time to play it today.
Yeah.
I just let it go. It finished eventually.
We'll get
I don't necessarily need it now.
Yeah.
More game launchers need to have always on downloading.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the one thing I loved about something like Steam. Oh, my games have updates. They queue themselves. They download up. Don't wait until I go to want to play it. I can say, always update this game as soon as a patch comes. Don't schedule, just immediately start downloading it.
Yeah. Go get it.
Because I
I'm
play enough.
gonna
I don't
want
want to.
it.
I don't. I'm yeah. Not everything. Don't even get it today. If I haven't played it in a couple weeks, schedule it for next Tuesday. I'll get it eventually. But MMOs, you go, it's like, I'm okay, I'm gonna go log in, and you log in, it's like, okay, there's a patch, and then you're just waiting.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have it doesn't download your stuff until you logged into the launcher? I understand why. It's dumb, but I understand why. But why can't that game download that while I'm at work?
Yeah.
If it's got many hundreds, like, schedule everybody's in stages. You know, just stripe all the download starts across a 10-hour window during the daytime when people are at work. Let their games be patched for when they get home.
Yeah. It feels like it should be common sense, and it should be a thing that they're all doing now.
It's not a thing with MMO launchers because you have to log in first, and they don't want to let you pre-save your login because you steal accounts, blah, 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 which I think is bullshit. I'm logged into everything else.
Yeah.
Let me stay logged into the launcher. I just want to launch it and hit go.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to put in my password and my two-factor every single time. I will take that risk. I understand. Let me save my password in clear text on my goddamn secure ass computer.
Why?
I will take that risk.
Why do you have to be logged in to update? Is my question.
Content. It won't download patches for content you don't own. If I don't own the newest expansion, there's a lot of stuff that it won't download. Except with MMOs, that's bullshit because it's got to have all these other things.
Yeah.
So it's downloading all that stuff.
Yeah.
With Destiny, it's a little different. Like, I don't have Witch Queen. There's a whole lot of assets I don't have, except you can still get queued into the first dungeon because it's part of the base game. And I get that all the time. And it's like, where is this dungeon? I've never done this. Like, oh, it's the intro mission to the Witch Queen, the Red Tower. I'm like, I never did that. I don't have that expansion. I don't recognize any of this stuff. If I buy that expansion, there's 20 more gig of stuff I have to download.
Yeah.
Except now they get rid of that, so you can just load into other stuff. It's like,
Grumble, grumble, grouse, grouse. I get it. Well, while
it
I
doesn't make any
literally
sense.
understand it, it does not make sense. Yeah. The content thing as well is, I don't know. I understand that maybe the whole reason you didn't get expansion 3 is you didn't have the disk space for it. But in general, that should be gated by a flag on your account at playtime, not at download time.
Yeah.
Give me the damn expansion. I'm going to need that data anyway. If I'm ever going to play it, just stick it on the machine and tell me I can't play it.
The one game I know does do that correctly is Eve.
Yeah.
But because they do this because Eve tends to have people running more than one account. Rather than clone you install, multiple copies.
Yeah.
They're like, look, we know you're going to launch it. We're just going to make the launcher be threaded, and it doesn't have its own thing. It, like, if you launch 5 copies of it, they all feed off of one install.
Yeah.
They have 5 local scratch files or logins, or cache that, but they don't actually, like, they put the game here and all the assets over here.
Yep.
And if you launch another one, they're going to use that same asset thing.
Yeah.
So I could have 16 accounts on, 16 copies of the game on my computer, but they all, like, use the
a
same
central
DLLs.
store. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve, that's what I was saying. Eve is, because I know I hadn't played Eve in a long time. I still had that Eve massive directory of stuff on my computer in case I ever wanted to play.
Excel in space
But
again.
Yeah. When are we gonna write that?
Oh, yeah, we have part of it. Scrapper is just like it's less excel in space and more access in space. The point is, we do have some code for Scrapper at a minimum, and I do want to come back to that one as well. And boy, have
Yeah.
I learned a lot about how to do that from how we're doing everything we're doing now.
I think we should finish the secret project first before we go into that.
Right.
But I think that is definitely something we should loop back to.
I have to joke and say which secret project because we have a couple of them now. I know the one you mean, but I have to make that joke at least. Not the one for November.
Splunk?
Like the logging tool.
Oh!
That kind of Splunk. Splunk like log management Splunk.
Oh, God.
I'm not a big fan of Splunk, but that's just me personally.
So you know how some people play Eve and they don't actually have to play the game. Like all they do is they log in and they're playing management simulator of
Yeah.
their corp,
Yeah.
of their asset management and social sandbox, but they never actually have to do the combat or even the mining. They are literally just to play football manager simulator, but you never actually play the games. You a game was played here to manage the stats.
Yeah.
I want that type of game. I want to be the man. I want to play Let's Cafe, but I don't actually want to be the line cook making the food. I want to be the person just sitting there, co-streaming mode. One person is managing the inventory. They just sit on the menu and the shop screen, and you get somebody on Discord. You're sitting on Discord like, oh, we're running out of me. It's like, hold on, I'm like, okay, I'm buying something, placing an order. Like you're doing the thing, you do like they're managing, but it's going to the same inventory.
Okay. I'm with that.
I don't think we should build it into that yet. That should be
No.
Way later thing. But like one of the frustrations, like having to remember which things are here, and you're going like, oh, I need this. Like that. If you had a second person, couch co-op, like Wii U pad, buying your stuff.
Speaking of which, I had an idea. I had a shower thought
owning a business.
A shower thought that I want to pitch to you. You know me, I like to take two things that are perfectly fine as they are and jam them together until they're no longer good. Mm-hmm. You know the match 3 games, Merge Dragons and Triple Town, and God only knows what other mobile Merge 3 games there are? That, but it's factory. Like Factory Idle. Or Factorio. Or Satisfactory. You merge buildings.
Those are all very different games and different play styles.
There's an overlap between them.
No.
Okay.
Those are all very.
Let's stick with Factory Idle then, because it's the one I'm most familiar with. That, but somehow it's a Merge 3 game. He's trying to find what it's called on Steam. I know he is. He's going to send me a link and say, here it is, it exists. Yes, but we didn't make one. What are we going to put in ours?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I like the conveyor belts of Factory Idle. I like that mechanic. I really do. It's a huge pain in the ass, but that's part of the fun. Yeah. So conveyor belts don't merge. They don't turn into anything. But you can merge 3 pieces of machinery to make a different type of machine, and then route conveyor belts to and from. And you are just given, here are the next 3 things you can pick from to place. Pick one and place it, whether it's a conveyor belt or a factory or a...
What is that? Steam game black cubes.
You know, I think I might have to reinstall Triple Town on my phone, to be honest with you.
No.
I kind of miss it. I haven't played it in a hot minute. And I did pay for the...
There was a... What did you buy?
I bought the no ads version of Triple Town a million years ago.
Oh.
At least 10 years ago. Probably more than that. 12 years ago? So I should have Triple... That's why I say I should reinstall it. I already done bought it. I should reinstall Triple Town and play it. I have a key. Let's do the thing. That's the other thing that we need to make sure we keep on our list is mobile focus.
64.
Like 2048, but several powers of 2 less.
No.
No?
There's a game called 64.
Okay.
Like SIXTYFOR.
Let me go look this one up on Steam.
It starts out do you remember the Crank game?
Yes, I do.
And I was like, oh, you just got this one little simple thing.
Oh.
Now you got this other little simple thing.
Oh dear.
And it's a real simple interface, and you're clicking on these cubes, and they generate, resources, and you make machines to click on those things, and then you make other machines to click on those other machines, and you end up building this giant, incredibly complex series of ever increasing, like an inverse necessary thing of machinery to click on things, to click on the cubes to get better cubes. And it's yeah.
Yeah, this looks dangerous. Oh dear.
Yes, but you see that picture there.
Yeah.
And then if you I don't know if it'll play the video.
It should. Boop. I think I see a machine.
See, it starts off nice, and then you're just like, oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and then that clicks this, and it feeds back in, and then you end up with that massive thing, and you're like, oh, okay.
I think that could be really dangerous for me. I should probably stop now before I get myself in big trouble. Not me adding this to my wish list immediately or anything. Yeah.
I had it on my wish list. It's sitting at mixed. I wonder why.
I'm curious though now. Yeah, I think I may have to. I may not be able to stop myself. It may just have to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes sometimes, I guess. I just saw the notification that Uber Fuzzy is playing Let's Cafe on Steam. I know it's not even publicly released. It's just in the team, but that is still so surreal, and I love it.
Bender's building a computer from first principles. Oh dear God.
Oh no. I love Ben Eater absolutely to death. I love his videos. I really do. I'm into
Wait,
that.
do we actually have a? There's an app icon.
There is an app
It's a
icon.
coffee cup with. There's a coffee cup with a Hercule squiggle on it.
It sure is. We'll
That's
probably
awesome.
get a better one, but that's the one I had for right now. That is when you were working on your block game and you're like, how do I draw the Hergel logo in 7x7 pixels? That is why. That is why I happen to know that and have that image.
Oh, okay.
Was making that coffee cup.
Y'all are gonna love some of the art that's coming.
It's
from
great.
dude. Like,
well, you've seen all
Danny's a
the
madman.
previews of the other backgrounds and stuff, right? For customizing your shop?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I can't wait to unleash that on you guys. It's going to be so cool. It's going to be so cool.
Mm-hmm.
You thought naming your cafe was an improvement. Man, if you get to pick your layout beforehand, if you get to decide what it looks like and spend your stars to customize it, just putting that out there.
Stars on after you bought all the upgrades. Yeah.
Yep.
Or in spite of.
Yeah.
Only cosmetics. No power ups.
$10,000 with no power ups, huh? That's an achievement.
It's got to be a little higher than that. You start off with
100. In terms of profit, in terms of actual profit. That's the other thing is we need to start tracking total profit, not just per day profit. But anyway, yes. Make $100,000 without a single power up.
25.
That's an achievement.
I think 25,000.
I agree. 2,500,000.
I swear to God, if I have to have the do you mean million or million billion conversation again? When you say billion, how many zeros do you mean?
Well, me personally.
Depends entirely on which side of the road you drive on.
Yeah. I mean, I am a billion is 1,000 million. There is not 1,000 million, but that's because I'm a USian.
Yes.
And our friends across the pond have a concept of 1,000 million, and a billion is a million. Which is why everyone should just use SI prefixes for everything. Like kilopounds. Centi-inches. What's the worst bastardization we could make of imperial and metric units?
Oh man.
Decigallons.
The game I want is on sale.
Which one?
Turnip Boy Robs a Bank.
Ooh.
The sequel to Turnip Boy
Tax evasion, yeah.
Yeah.
For $10.49. That's not bad. That's manageable. I probably have $11. I could buy you a video game. I could probably find $11 anyway. We'll see if it's on sale tomorrow. Oh, the other thing, and I do need to talk to Jacob about this too. The other thing is we have decided officially. We have new music coming.
Goodbye.
We have new music coming for Let's Cafe. We will be releasing the soundtrack separately too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially
which is yet another benefit of Steam.
Yeah.
You can do that.
Yeah. But I've been working with some friends in the VGM community and cooking up some very good stuff for that. Beware the man with unkind hands. But yeah, no, I'm hyped for it, and I've heard some of the previews that they've been sharing with me for stuff they're interested in doing, and oh man, if you enjoy elevators, You're going to be in heaven. I promise. It's fantastic stuff. What about Sim Tower? We should make a game like that.
That was the more management one, right?
Yeah, that's the one that started as an elevator simulator and then they added the rest of the building to it. Tell me if that story sounds familiar. What if it's that, but Tetris? You know, you get your pieces, but they're made out of rooms or suites, and you drop them into your tower. I know there's one of those for dungeons already, but if we make it a tower management elevator sim something.
There's some aspect of that of the base simulator type thing, like Fallout Shelter type thing.
Yeah.
You're like expand the room, expand the room. I know some of those type of games have a regular shaped room. They're not just like a bunch of rectangles on grids, and is more just like you just need them in your base because that's basically just an idle game at that point.
Right.
So it is about like actually organizing things and adjacency bonus and stuff like that. So
I can see some neat direction something like that could go. I can indeed.
can do with the regular shaped packages. Banana pieces.
Oh no. Oh no. Also, we
They're
need to
not all
write
on a grid.
we need to write something with hexagons because I like hexagons. I have no idea what. I just like hexagons. They are the bestagons.
In your head, is your hexagon pointy side up or flat side up?
In my head, they are flat side up.
Because it determines how all the math works.
Yes, it does. In my mind, they have always been flat side up. I'm going to say I have one more time. I have the majority of the code for a hexagon-based crossword puzzle in Flash. No, it's nice. The center of a six around one center, the center is the number. The words are all 6 letters, and they all go around the hexagon. You do not know whether they go clockwise or counterclockwise, and you do not know where they start. But they all interlock. So that between 2 clues, there will be 2 letters that overlap. I'll show you. I'll show you. I will dig it up and show you. But I have most of the code written for a hexagon crossword puzzle and a generator for them. I do. It's neat. I like playing with the test version of it. I liked it, and I just never finished it. And I should go back and finish it. We should go back and finish it because that's another one of those that we can drip feed new puzzles every day too. Here's a set of 100 pre-generated. Go through and fill them in, but you know, come back daily for a new puzzle. Whether we make it web-based or wherever.
That's something else we should pick a gimmick and write one of those.
Yeah.
When are we gonna write our own, little to the left?
Yeah.
Have a series of actual handcrafted things, but have a generative one. If you ever get stuck on one or one that seems broken, if you look in the bottom left of your game, there's a code there for what it's basically the seed that generated it, because they did have a problem with some of them are actually broken.
Interesting.
And you could file a report that like this was broken or something. I had one with pencils one time where like it was supposed to be a shaded one, but they were all the same color. There was some aspect where it generated badly, and I sat there and I brute forced through the 36
Yeah.
matches until I found the one, and I'm like, what the hell? And they're like, quickly before the date changes, can you go back and get the code for it? And they're like, oh, yeah, that is wrong. Okay, we'll
Consider it
patch that out
fixed.
in the
Yeah.
algorithm. Or yeah,
I had that happen in. I don't want to confess this out loud, but I'm going to. I had a problem like that in Adventure Capitalist once. And I reported it where something was very broken and not working as intended. And I reported it, and they gave me a pile of in-game currency in exchange for my detailed report. I have never spent money on Adventure Capitalist, but I have absolutely used their microtransaction system after being rewarded a pile of gold. And that's part of the reason I went back and played it. Those bastards knew what they were doing.
you ever play the Comrade one?
Okay. Look, we don't have a whole lot of time left in our show. We're already 3 minutes over, and I'm going to wrap in a little bit anyway. But I want to rant about that for a minute because I played it on Steam. Absolutely. I'm still playing it on Steam. It's awful. And the reason it's awful is they didn't bring any of the stuff that they built in the mobile version over to Steam. The Steam version is a train wreck. The mobile version is fantastic. I've never played the mobile version because I'm lazy. But I'm mad.
I played the hell out of it on my. I did not like playing Adventure Capitalist on my phone.
Yeah.
I liked the Steam version better, but the Comrade one, I can't remember what it's called.
Adventure
But that one I
Communist.
liked. Adventure Communist. I
Yeah.
liked that one better on mobile because it just seemed better. But it's like I would play this on my computer if it looked the same, and then I try to play it on Steam. I'm like, this is bad.
Yeah.
This is
That's
just,
what I ran
why
into with
isn't
it.
this?
Where's the
And I
rest
would
of the
know why.
game?
It's hard.
Yeah. That's true. That is true. Well, I think we're going to
All
call
right.
it. It's about time to grab some food and everything. Fuzzy, I will catch up with you
Yes.
afterwards. But thank you, everyone, for being here with us today. Happy Tuesday to you. I will be back later this week doing music. God willing and the creek don't rise. I have things kind of lined up. I mean, if you can hear me, we're doing okay. I bought batteries for the guitar. I mean, what kind of world is this where I got to buy batteries for the guitar?
Can
And
you unplug your cigarette? I need to charge my book.
over the I hate the future. Over the weekend, I'm sure one or more of us is going to be playing some Can Do, so keep your eye on either us or the Can Do category. I'll throw one more plug in here for the Discord. If you want to find out what me and Fuzzy are up to, you can always find out there. And one for the Hergel Discord, too. If you're just here for the games, go join that one. In any case, we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. And we will catch you next time.